Hola, hola, hola y bienvenidos a otro episodio de Listen, Read, Interact. Welcome to another episode of Listen, Read, Interact. My name is Andrew Snyder and I'm your host. I am a Spanish language professor, and this is a Spanish learning podcast. So if you want to get better at Spanish, or if you're a teacher and want your students to get better at Spanish, this is the place to be. Every episode of Listen, Read, Interact is a self-contained lesson. That's the idea anyway. And I want to start by saying if you're a true beginner in Spanish, this episode might be available for you. It might be within reach. But I would recommend starting with episode number 50. So if you go to listenreadinteract.com/50, the number 50, listenreadinteract.com/50, then you'll find an episode that is designed to be the very beginning. So that's where I would recommend that you start. And I would start there and go through the episodes at least through 55. 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, and 55, because that is a series of 6 short stories designed for true beginners. Now, I base every episode on a story because we are storytelling creatures. That's the way that I see it. And I think it's true. We use stories to transmit information across time. And that means across generations sometimes. We have stories that are very, very ancient that have been transmitted to the present time. And that is how we store information as a species. Now, we can do that in many other ways now, obviously by writing it down and by, we have databases and computers and all sorts of things that allow us to store information now that we did not used to have. But stories were the way to boil down important information to transmit to future generations. And so it's a very valuable human skill that we have in storytelling, a beautiful skill. And so I feel that we should take advantage of that skill when we're learning languages because it's the natural way to transmit information. And so what happens is when you hear a story is that you hear many, many, many messages. And messages turn out to be the thing that drive acquisition. You see, when you process messages in your brain in the language, then your brain says, hey, those sounds in that particular order carried a meaning. And that meaning was valuable to me. There was a message I had to interpret, and therefore I want to maybe hang on to those sounds in that particular order because it communicated an important message to me. So the idea is when we read a story or when we hear a story, we're going to process tons and tons of messages, tons and tons of language. And simply by doing that, you give your brain everything it needs to acquire language. That's what happens when we're little kids. We hear many, many messages communicated to us. Sometimes it's a message of don't eat that, don't do that. Sometimes it's a message of we need to eat now, it's time to eat, we have to eat, eating is important, you have to eat your vegetables. Sometimes it's all sorts of different kinds of messages that are communicated to us. Praise for when we do things well, punishment sometimes for when we do things wrong. All of that is communication, and it's rich communication. So we want to receive as much communication. We want to receive it as much as we can. We call that, in second language acquisition, we call that input. And we want as much input as we can get because that gives our brains many, many chances to interpret messages that are being communicated to us. We want input that is rich. We want input that carries messages that we don't know beforehand, and we have to interpret them in order to understand. And stories are just the perfect vehicle for that. You might not understand every word, and that's okay, but you do want to understand most of what you hear and most of what you read. Otherwise, it will become frustrating fairly quickly. You can power through for a bit, but everyone's tolerance for that that uncertainty of not knowing what is being communicated is different. And so if you have high tolerance for that, you're going to go farther probably, because you're going to be able to get through those situations where you don't understand every single word. And if you have low tolerance for that, it's going to be something that causes anxiety perhaps. And anxiety is the opposite of what we want when you're learning a language. When you are picking up a new language, you want low anxiety, because that can get in the way of processing messages. You start to focus on the fact that you're anxious instead of trying to process the message. You want to get lost in the message, not lost in terms of not knowing what's going on, but you want to be lost in the moment. You want to be so into it that you forget that you're processing messages in a new language. And hopefully that's what stories do for us. So every episode of Listen, Read, Interact is based on a story. And I think that's just the perfect method for picking up language. It's just I can't think of a more natural way than to hear stories, to read stories, and that sort of a thing. Obviously, the show is called Listen, Read, Interact, and a lot of people think, well, don't I need to practice speaking if I want to get better at speaking? Well, you shouldn't limit yourself. That's for sure. If you are going to go out and speak and you want to speak, nobody should be limiting you in that. You should go out and speak as much as you want. Now, you won't say things that are native-like at first, because your brain does not yet have a mental model of Spanish. If you're not a person who's had lots of exposure to Spanish, you're going to say lots of things that a native Spanish speaker would not say, obviously. So that's something to take into account. Talk as much as you want, talk as much as you feel comfortable, but if you're a true beginner, taking in language is far more important than producing. A little kid learning their first language does not produce language very much for years. Now, some of that is human development. We develop slowly as kids, right? So that's something to consider as well. But a lot of that is the fact that their mental model of whatever their native language is has not yet developed. And so give it time. That's my advice. Give it time. Give it a number of hours. I would say 10 hours before you start to speak, or 15 hours, or 20 hours, or 100 hours. It's different for different people, and you shouldn't feel pressure to speak until you're ready, until that model has developed. Because when you are ready, guess what? The words will be there. The words will just bubble up from your subconscious because you will have developed enough of a language model, a bubble of language in your brain, that's this new Spanish bubble, that is capable of producing language, communicating your own ideas, because you'll have ideas come into your head. Where do those ideas come from? I don't know, but they're there. And you want to communicate those ideas. You want to communicate your messages. And so the language model inside your brain tries to come up with words to say. And if there's words to say, it will say them. And if there's no words to say, it just means that your language model has not yet developed sufficiently to communicate that particular message in that particular moment. So there's lots and lots of stuff going on inside our brains, and the best course of action is just to get as much language processing done as possible, as many hours of listening as you can get, as many hours of reading as you can get. So listen, read, that's the two big ways to get language in your head. Really, I can't think of another way to get language into your head other than to listen to it or to read it. And reading is just a system that sits on top of listening inside your brain. It activates the same circuits. And so when you read, you actually are getting better at listening because you're able to predict better the next chunk of words that are going to come in the sentence. And so by reading a lot, you actually get better at listening. And by listening a lot, you get better at reading. They go hand in hand. Both of them are true. So that's fantastic. And if you're already a little bit into Spanish, let's say you have advanced a little bit, you've taken some Spanish in high school or in college, and you've maybe even spent some time in Mexico, or you've been to Spain or something like that, and you want to get better at speaking Spanish, I have an opportunity for you through Tacoma Language Academy. You can go to Tacoma Language Academy, and you can check out the Spanish Chat Club. The Spanish Chat Club. It's a 6-week course, and it's intended for A2 to B2 learners, or intermediate, advanced high, intermediate low, that kind of learner, maybe even intermediate mid. And they're weekly guided conversations. So for 6 weeks, you'll have a class that meets online, and it's going to be a small group. It'll be like 6 people at the most. And those 6 people are going to be your partners, along with myself as the instructor. And you'll have guided conversations. Now, I'll be there to help guide the conversations, but you're going to be doing the talking, a lot of it. And in order to prepare for it, you'll have some homework that is optional homework. Obviously, it's not going to be for a grade, which I think grades are stupid anyway. But it's not for a grade, and it's just some optional homework to help you get to the point where you feel comfortable talking about those topics. And so when questions about those topics arise, you'll be able to be a little bit prepared and feel a little more confident in there. So this is for intermediate learners. And so 6 students, 6 sessions, 60-minute live sessions on the computer via Zoom or something like that. And they'll have topics that range from travel and food and daily routines and sharing opinions and narrating past experiences. In other words, things that you'll talk about in real life. And that's the idea here, some real life conversations. So if you're interested in that, the Spanish Chat Club for intermediate speakers, go to TacomaLanguageAcademy.com, TacomaLanguageAcademy.com, and apply for admission. It's a free application. It's just an application to make sure that we're a good fit for each other, and be sure to put on there that you are interested in Spanish Chat Club. And we're going to have a session starting sometime in January. I've not quite decided the time for that yet. I'm trying to wait on a couple things for my classes that I'm teaching. I teach at a college here in my local town, so I'm trying to make sure that this will fit within that schedule as well. So the schedule for that will be coming soon, and I will be sure to talk about it on the show, and I'll be sure also to put that in the newsletter. And I do have a newsletter that goes out every Friday. There's a newsletter that goes out, and that's the idea there. Okay, so the TacomaLanguageAcademy.com. Perfect. Now, I mentioned earlier that every episode is a self-contained lesson, and so you'll notice that if you go to the show notes page for this episode, which you can find at listenreadinteract.com/56, since this is episode number 56, you'll see some links that are there, some templates, there's one called an El Escritorio template, great activity, a great way to interact with the language. There's a dictation template, another great way to interact with the language. There's a link to Read to Speak Spanish, which is one of my other sites, and that has a bunch of free resources on it for language learning and for language teaching. There's some other things there. And then you'll notice that there is a pre-reading and interaction section. Each episode then is divided into 3 parts. The pre-reading, which will culminate with some example sentences that I've got for you, and I'd like you to listen to and to read if you get a chance to. And those are great for a dictation. So that dictation template I mentioned earlier, just write down what you hear as it sounds to you, and then check your work on the show notes page. You can also click on those examples, which are in a blue box. You can click on those examples, and you'll see 10 examples there. And if you click on them, you'll be able to see the English translation. So if you didn't understand the whole thing, you can read the translation and kind of pick up some words that way. There's a few activities there as well. Some definitions, some fill-in-the-blank type things, some order the word type things. And those are just meant to help you practice, not practice necessarily, but to process the language in different ways. And interacting with the language makes sure that processing has taken place, and that's what we want. We want to process messages in the language, and doing so will help you acquire language. So if you feel comfortable with those sentences, great. Move on then to part 2, which is a brief reading. Now, that is the same story as the third part of the episode, but the brief reading is shorter. Obviously, it's brief. It has some comprehension questions. It has some other things to help you understand. It is also complete with footnotes, which will help you to read and not have to look up phrases. So these footnotes are likely unfamiliar words, likely unfamiliar phrases, and so they're perfect for beginners and intermediate learners because looking up words is a pain in the butt. And if you can just have some words glossed for you, you'll pick up those words nicely. Now, in part 3, you'll have the complete reading, which is the same story, but longer, more complete, and another way to listen to it. It's also a different person, meaning the first reading in that part 2, the short one, the short reading, is in the yo form, the I form. And the complete reading is in the ella form or the él form, the he form, the she form, the él, he, ella, she, or perhaps ellos, they. So you get this 2 different perspectives on the same story. Like one maybe is being told from the perspective of a narrator, and the other one is told the narrator is not the person. They're telling the story about someone else. So 2 different perspectives, which is great when you're learning language because often we have different perspectives and you need to hear both of them in order to acquire both of them. So listening to both kinds is very, very important. Okay, there's other ways to interact as well. And at the very end, there are some complete the sentences and some personal questions. And if you're able to answer those personal questions at the end, I think it means that you've picked up some language. So here's another trick. I wouldn't necessarily recommend listening to the whole episode at once. You can, and that's great. But you could listen to one part one day, do one part one day, and then another day come back to it and do part 2, and another day come back to it and do part 3. And so that way you've spent 3 days on one episode building to the end. And I think that's a great way to pick up language. A little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. Obviously, this show in and of itself is not all of the language you need to process in order to acquire. You need to process hours and hours and hours and hours of language, and I give you like maybe 30 minutes a week of language to process. So that's great. That's language you wouldn't have had otherwise, but you need to find other sources. And if you could do 10 minutes a day over the course of a year, that's a lot of hours, you know? Over the course of a year, that's like, what is that, like 3,600 minutes? That's a lot of hours. Let's do a little math. I don't do math very well, so let me bust out a calculator. If I have 3,650 minutes, and I divide that by 60, because that's how many hours, that's 60 hours of processing just doing 10 minutes per day, and that's fantastic. So if you can find other things to listen to, other material to process in that time, then you're going to make huge progress in just 1 year. And my guess is that you'll be able to, after a short while, after you get 20, 30 hours under your belt, you could do longer than 10 minutes. But 10 minutes is a good number to start with. So get a routine, start doing a little bit every day, and you're going to make huge progress in the language. Even 10 minutes a day, man, that's a huge, huge boon to your success in Spanish language acquisition. All right, when you hear the music, the show is going to go into Spanish. We'll hear 2 sections totally in Spanish. We'll have a little break, a little pause between the second and third sections. And then when you hear the bell the last time, you'll hear the third and final section of the show. So without further ado, let's move on to the show. Vamos adelante. Pues bien, ahora vamos a continuar con la parte número 1 de este episodio. Puedes ver y encontrar más actividades en la página web para este episodio, que es listenreadinteract.com/56, ya que este es episodio 56. Voy a leer 10 ejemplos y estas frases, estas oraciones, están en una cajita azul que dice ejemplos, ¿no? Ejemplos. Y entonces vamos a trabajar en esta parte del programa, esta parte del episodio. Y voy a leer 3 veces. Una vez despacio, una vez muy despacio y una vez más rápido para que puedas escuchar el español de una manera más natural. Pues bien, número 1. Julio entra a un restaurante en Madrid. Julio entra a un restaurante en Madrid. Julio entra a un restaurante en Madrid. 2. Brianna trabaja en el bar y prepara comida. Brianna trabaja en el bar y prepara comida. Brianna trabaja en el bar y prepara comida. 3. Yo pido nachos con chiles picantes. Yo pido nachos con chiles picantes. Yo pido nachos con chiles picantes. 4. Los nachos tienen mucha sal. Los nachos tienen mucha sal. Los nachos tienen mucha sal. 5. Después de comer, Julio tiene mucha sed. Después de comer, Julio tiene mucha sed. Después de comer, Julio tiene mucha sed. 6. Brianna se ríe mientras prepara la comida. Brianna se ríe mientras prepara la comida. Brianna se ríe mientras prepara la comida. 7. Julio siempre compite con Brianna. Julio siempre compite con Brianna. Julio siempre compite con Brianna. 8. Ambos hablan varios idiomas. Ambos hablan varios idiomas. Ambos hablan varios idiomas. 9. Julio piensa que esta es su oportunidad. Julio piensa que esta es su oportunidad. Julio piensa que esta es su oportunidad. 10. No me gustan las comidas picantes. No me gustan las comidas picantes. No me gustan las comidas picantes. Pues muy bien. En la página para este episodio puedes ir a listenreadinteract.com/5656, ya que este es episodio 56, y puedes ver los ejemplos y verificar si comprendiste o no. ¿Comprendes? ¿Entiendes? Si entiendes, pues bien, puedes interactuar con las otras actividades, puedes hacer las otras actividades que están ahí y puedes continuar a la parte 2. Pues bien, ahora estamos en la parte 2 y vamos a leer la historia breve. Mi nombre es Julio. Vivo en Madrid, la capital de España. Tengo una enemiga mortal. Se llama Brianna. Yo soy bajo y gordo. No soy ni guapo ni feo, pero soy inteligente. Tengo muy mala suerte. Brianna es alta, delgada e inteligente. Ella habla 4 idiomas. Yo también. Siempre competimos. Si ella aprende un idioma nuevo, yo lo aprendo también. Un viernes por la noche voy a un restaurante. Veo a Brianna trabajando en el bar. Pienso, esta es mi oportunidad. Me siento en el bar y le digo, buenas noches, Brianna. Ella responde con sarcasmo. Vaya, vaya, vaya. Si no es mi viejo amigo. Le pido unos nachos. Ella va a la cocina, los prepara con chiles picantes y mucha sal. Como toque final, escupe encima. Después, ella me trae el plato de nachos. Tengo mucha hambre y los como rápido. Son muy picantes. Tengo muchísima sed. Casi no puedo hablar, pero digo, Brianna, ¿qué pusiste en mis nachos? Ella se ríe locamente. Yo pido un jugo de manzana. Brianna me da un vaso con líquido sin color. Lo tomo sin pensar. Esto no es jugo de manzana, digo, es gasolina. Me caigo al suelo. En la ambulancia, juro vengarme de Brianna. Pues bien, vamos a leer, por favor, y escuchar 8 preguntas de comprensión. Si vas al sitio web listenreadinteract.com/56, encontrarás 8 frases que es una actividad cierto o falso. Una cajita de color naranja tiene estas 8 frases. Y si haces clic, eso revela si la frase es cierta o falsa, ¿no? Entonces puedes decidir cierto o falso según la historia. Número 1. Julio vive en la capital de España. Julio vive en la capital de España. 2. Brianna es baja y gorda. Brianna es baja y gorda. 3. Julio y Brianna hablan 4 idiomas. Julio y Brianna hablan 4 idiomas. 4. Brianna prepara los nachos con chiles picantes y sal. Brianna prepara los nachos con chiles picantes y sal. 5. Julio come los nachos lentamente. Julio come los nachos lentamente. 6. Julio pide un jugo de manzana porque tiene mucha sed. Julio pide un jugo de manzana porque tiene mucha sed. 7. Brianna le da a Julio agua en lugar de jugo de manzana. Brianna le da a Julio agua en lugar de jugo de manzana. Y número 8. En la ambulancia, Julio promete vengarse de Brianna. En la ambulancia, Julio promete vengarse de Brianna. Ok, perfecto. Con esto vamos a la parte siguiente del show. All right, a brief break before we move on to the final part of the show. Listen, Read, Interact is a value for value podcast. So if you've been getting value from the show, and let's say you've been listening for a while now, please consider sending value back our way. And you can do that with your time, your talent, or your treasure. Those are 3 great ways to do that. Your time, obviously, if you have a question about language acquisition or about Spanish or about something like that, send me a message. You can message me at andrew@readtospeak.com. I'd love to get an email from you, and I'd love to talk to you more. You can send value back our way with your talent. If you're a Spanish language author and you want your work read on the show, if you want to help promote your other work, let's say you have a novel out and you've written a short story, I would love to get some other language authors to feature on the show. That would be a lot of fun. We can talk about how to put links to your work and all that stuff on a show notes page. That'll make it work perfectly for you. If you have been listening for a long time and you want to provide value back, a great way to do that is by sharing the show with other people. I'm not on social media, so you won't see me post any links, so it's probably not great for marketing, but it's great for my mental health, and so I'm not doing that. I'm not on social media, and if you're on it for some reason, I would recommend getting off, but if you're not going to, and you want to help out the show, you can do that by sharing the show with your network. That helps out a ton. You can also help out by making a monetary donation to the show, and every donation is so highly appreciated. You can make a donation by going to listenreadinteract.com/donate, and you can donate any amount, any frequency. Any amount means like the amount of value you think you have received from the show. So I can't determine that for you, but if you like the show and you want it to keep going, if you find it valuable, sending a donation in this direction is so much appreciated, and it does help us keep going. You know, this is not free to host, and there's a lot of time involved in making stories, writing activities, and that sort of a thing. So and putting up these show notes, all this sort of stuff, recording. If you like the show and you found value in the show, please send that value back our way. listenreadinteract.com/donate. The one-time donations are great, and so are the sustaining donations, like something like $4 weekly. Is a great way to help support the show. So great things. Thank you to everyone who has donated in the past. And I will mention people by name and by amount and not frequency, but location if you donate over $50. So if you want to be anonymous under $50, we'll keep you anonymous on the show, and I get their reasons to do that. So thank you so much to everyone who's donated in the past. And with that, let's get back to the show. Pues bien, ahora estamos en la parte final. Y si vas a la página web, listenreadinteract.com/56, vas a encontrar la lectura completa y también maneras de interactuar, más ejercicios que puedes hacer o realizar en la página para este episodio. Nachos mortales. En la capital española viven dos enemigos mortales. Se llaman Julio y Briana. Julio es un hombre bajo y gordo. No es ni guapo ni feo. Es inteligente, pero siempre tiene muy mala suerte. Briana es inteligente, alta y delgada. Briana es una mujer talentosa. Por ejemplo, ella habla 4 idiomas. Julio habla 4 idiomas también. Hablan español porque son de España. También hablan portugués, inglés y catalán. Son muy competitivos. Cada vez que Briana aprende a hablar otra lengua, Julio aprende a hablar esa lengua también. No quiere perder ninguna ventaja. El viernes por la noche, Julio va a un restaurante. Ve que Briana está trabajando como camarera en el bar del restaurante. Julio piensa que es una buena oportunidad para hacerle la vida más difícil. Julio se sienta en el bar y dice: «Buenas noches, Briana». «Vaya, vaya, vaya», dice Briana cuando ve a Julio. «Si no es mi viejo amigo, ¿qué quieres?» «Tengo mucha hambre. Dame unos nachos». «A la orden, señor», dice Briana sarcásticamente. Con esto, Briana va a la cocina a preparar los nachos. Los prepara especialmente para su enemigo. Pone chiles picantes y mucha sal. Como un toque final, Briana escupe encima de los nachos. Entonces ella le trae los nachos a Julio. Él tiene mucha hambre y los come rápidamente. Están muy picantes y le da sed inmediatamente. Quiere beber un jugo de manzana porque tiene mucha sed. Casi no puede hablar. «Briana, ¿qué pusiste en mis nachos?», dice Julio, en una voz seca. «¿Estás bien, Julio?», pregunta Briana. «Muajajajajajaja. Tengo mucha sed. Dame un jugo de manzana, rápido». «A la orden, señor», dice Briana sarcásticamente. Briana le trae un vaso de líquido transparente a Julio y lo pone en la mesa. Julio agarra el vaso y mira el líquido por un momento. Entonces lo bebe al fondo rápidamente. Entonces dice, esto no es jugo de manzana, es gasolina. Entonces Julio se cae al suelo. En la ambulancia de camino al hospital, Julio jura vengarse de Brianna. Pues bien, con esto vamos a terminar. Muchísimas gracias por escuchar. Thank you for listening. And if you enjoyed today's show, please consider supporting us. Please remember us at listenreadinteract.com/donate. listenreadinteract.com/donate. Muchas gracias y hasta la próxima.